Hey everybody, welcome to Goots' Wrestling Pod. I'm your host, Ray Goots, and I'm here with the Andrew Lee bro. Andrew Lee with his what is that character called again?
You don't know this guy?
I Vance Astro, right? No, Yondu,
No.
Yondu, Yondu.
Yes, very good. Yeah, very good. I was
Mm.
worried there for a second, Ray. You
The
were
original Yondu
the
from back in
original.
the day.
Yeah.
And we are talking Superbrawl 5 today. Of course, we were recording this on the Friday, 2 days before All In. Tony Khan has sold 50,000 tickets. He bought them all himself. What do you think about this monumentous occasion? Any predictions for All In?
I think probably Ricochet is probably. Do you think Ricochet? I think he's gonna debut.
I think him and Shane are debuting. Remember my
Oh,
prediction?
that's right, dude. I totally forgot about Shane McMahon. Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
Shane is going to help Daniel Bryan win the belt.
Yeah, that was your prediction. So this is memory, guys. This is Ray Goots' prediction. Ray said Shane McMahon is going to come out and he's going to help Bryan Danielson to beat Swerve Strickland and become the AEW champion, which I can see because, if he loses, he has to retire. What are the options?
Yeah, I don't. I think it's a waste. I like Swerve. It's a waste of time to have Bryan Danielson retire against Swerve. I think you should build to a big show in 2025. That's his definite last match, win or lose. Bryan Danielson, that is. It's like honestly, these UK shows, everyone acts like it's a big deal when they sell these thousands and thousands of tickets. I just think UK fans go to go. Like I looked up ticket prices. They're like $30 American for pretty good seats. You
That's
know,
great.
so right now, if I'm in London with you, like why wouldn't we go? Why wouldn't we go? Like if we could walk there,
Yeah.
So I don't think matches sell this show. I think the show could main event with Evil Uno versus Will Ospreay, and it still would sell out. It's more about being there. I think that's about to. We already sold 30,000 less this time, so that allure is about to wear out. But
Well, I like to listen to the Voices of Wrestling podcast from last week, and they made a very good point. If you remember, Tony Khan, he announced that the next All Out is going to be in where?
in Texas,
Texas, right?
yeah, we
And
talked about it last week.
part of the reason why they announced that was to drive up sales for this year's. Because
Yeah, I
now the
think it
people
works.
in London know, they go, oh, they're not going to be back here next year, so might as well
Mm-hmm.
now. So,
But I think he knew that he's not even going to sell 50,000 next year because he's not booking to draw people in. I think for two Wembley shows, the two main events he's had are very underwhelming. Adam Cole versus MJF, and it led to a storyline that went nowhere. And now you have Bryan Danielson versus Swerve. And I'm not gonna if you have Bryan Danielson retire, okay, sure, you can say to Wembley fans, you saw him retire. I think that's kind of a waste of 3 years of Bryan Danielson. I think they've done a lot to waste him by catering to what he wants to do rather than telling him what he's going to do, which is I would have put the belt on him a long time ago, especially after
no,
CM Punk
it could
left.
also be like he doesn't want the belt, you know?
I don't care what he doesn't want. It's not you do what I tell you. That's what Vince would say. I don't care that you don't want the belt. What's best if Hulk Hogan goes, you know what, brother, I don't want the belt in '86, but I want to keep working here. Vince would be, I don't give a fuck. What's best for everyone is you keep this fucking belt, you idiot. You know?
I
But
mean,
brother,
you can say that, but I'm trying to play devil's advocate. I recall reading a story about how Eddie Guerrero didn't want the belt back. It was too much pressure for him.
he
And
was
he
getting it back
actually,
though.
what?
He was supposed to win it the day he died.
Really?
He had a title match the day he was found dead. And the rumor was, and everyone's kind of like basically confirmed it without confirm, he was going to win the belt. He was
Wow.
going to beat Batista for the belt. It's I think the belt. Look, the thing about especially after CM Punk got suspended and Hangman Page pulled an empty-headed dumb fuck. The best thing for that company at the time was putting the belt on Bryan Danielson, and I think him not wanting the belt is very selfish. Sometimes you have to do stuff you don't want to do, but having him as the figurehead right away instead of making him just another guy. Again, it's not about what you want or what you don't want. It's what's best for everyone. And what's best for everyone is he should have won the belt at Grand Slam twice. He should have won the belt, 2021 and 2022. And I think what's best for the company right now is him winning the belt. I don't care. I get it. He wants to be Mr. Unselfish, but about being Mr. Unselfish, he is being selfish because he's not doing what's best to grow the company.
Well, all right. What do you call it? By the way, I was just reading about it. Batista denied the rumor that Guerrero was supposed to win that day in his own book.
But see, I think the storyline where it's going, Guerrero winning the belt would have been best for that storyline. Well, I'll say this: if he wasn't going to win it that day, I think he was definitely going to win it before he died. In the alternative timeline where he lives that day. Like if he was still alive today, I think he would have the belt 2 or 3 more times.
What do you call it? I mean, I think someone okay, so a couple of things that you talked about. Do I think the main events are a little underwhelming? Yeah, I do think so too. Mm-hmm. Especially since like MJF versus Will Ospreay, we've seen that already.
Yeah,
they had an hour long match like less than 2 months ago, right? It was less than 2 months ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's a little underwhelming in that sense, but you have to admit there's probably going to be a good pay-per-view. Right? It's probably going to be good.
I think Ospreay and Swerve are going to have a good match. I don't think the women matches are going to be good. I think
Swerve.
Ospreay and Swerve are going to have good matches respectively. I know they're fighting.
Okay, respectively. Okay, yeah.
I think that I think fucking Britt Baker and Mercedes is going to lead to another fucking fist fight at the press conference, which will be great. I think Jungle Boy Darby Allin's going to stink, and I think Maria May and Toni Storm's going to stink. I think they fucked it up already. But yeah, I do think the 2 main events are going to be good, but they're still like underwhelming matches to me.
I don't know, man. I feel like Maria May she's British, so I think she might really just go the extra mile. I think she's British. Let me see.
I hope so. I think
Darby Allin's really good. Darby Allin, I have me personally, I have yet to see a bad Darby Allin match. I think the Casino Gauntlet, we're probably going to see Ricochet, so that's going to be fun. Mm-hmm. I think the stinker would probably be Chris Jericho versus Hook. That's probably going to be the stinker.
Chris Jericho. I've never seen someone more done than Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho, like, people talk, and we're going to get to an era where people talk shit about Hulk Hogan, which is around 99, 2000. He was putting out better matches than Jericho right now. And he was being a lot less selfish than Jericho. Jericho has just gotten worse. He refuses to admit he's over the hill. He refuses to. I've never seen someone in more of a midlife crisis. At least Hogan kind of admitted at a certain point that he's old. And the same thing with Ric Flair. This fucking guy still thinks he's fucking 27. And it's his everything he's done has been awful. Since those Kylie Ray allegations come out, they have him shook. He hasn't been the same. He should go away. He should go away for a while. He stinks. He's one of the worst. And this Hook feud has been going for like fucking 6 months.
By the way, Casino, yeah, this Hook thing's been going on for a while. He's actually wrestled Hook a whole bunch of times too. So it's kind of like moat at this point, but Casino Gauntlet, I also wouldn't be surprised if some UK guys show up. Like Michael Oku is probably going to show up. There's rumors like, he's also done some dark. He's also done some dark matches, so he's probably showing up at the Casino Gauntlet match. So I think the Gauntlet match, dude. I think besides that Jericho match, the rest of the card, even though it's not like.
I think the Britt Baker Mercedes match is going to be bad because I think Britt Baker is going to not cooperate with Mercedes to make her look bad.
Maybe that's a possibility. I think Britt Baker right now she's got a lot of bad juju going on. So I think she might. A lot of times when wrestlers have a lot of bad juju going on, to make up for it, they bring it in the ring.
I don't think she's going to bring it.
I hope she brings it because
I think these are 2 women. These are 2 women with big egos, and they can't keep it to the. I both said they can keep it in their pants. They also can't keep it in their pants. They can't keep it in their pants. No, they also can't keep it to themselves. All in all, should be an eventful weekend. I do expect Tony Khan to make an announcement about the TV deal. It's so funny because all over, whenever you read comic book news or TV news or financial news, everyone's saying that the WB Discovery is in the worst place it's ever been. The company is like about to collapse, and wrestling fans and AEW act like Warner Brothers Discovery is the greatest company in the world. It's the funniest fucking thing to me. Like, if they get on Max, that's good, but I mean, like, this company might go under within 5 years. And it's just funny to me.
Well,
Like,
what company's gonna go under in 5 years?
Warner Brothers Discovery is doing horrible, horrible.
Yeah, they're doing bad, but I don't. They have a way to turn it back around.
Well, yeah, it's with Tony Khan.
Yeah,
It's
Tony, dude.
it's having Evil Uno put on some bangers on Friday nights.
When AEW gets on Max, it's over. Who's finances? Everything goes up. Everything goes up. I'm telling you right now, everything goes up. So don't worry, Tony Khan. He just gotta do it.
He's like, listen, he's like, what's your plan to turn us around? He goes, have you thought about having Ricochet and Evil Uno go an hour on Saturday nights? And they're like, we love it. Here's the new deal. I always use Evil Uno as the example of like Tony Khan being an idiot. Like, oh, yeah, Evil Uno. All right, here we go. Speaking of idiots, let's talk about Superbrawl 5. And we're on the road to WrestleMania. It's 1995. It's the first WCW show of 1995. We do have to talk a little bit about 2 weeks ago. I just want to say to all our fans, we talked very negatively about Kevin Sullivan. And the day after we recorded it, he died. And many people love Kevin Sullivan and many people respect him. And I heard he by all accounts, was a great guy. However, that doesn't change the fact that in this era, he looks like an untalented, uncoordinated fucking doofus. And we're still going to talk shit about him because he has to be one of the worst on-screen acts of this era or any era right now. And I'm sorry, it's just the way it is.
Yeah, this act was this. So we have actually been covering all the WCW NWA pay-per-views since 83, 84. And Kevin Sullivan is on a bunch of them in the beginning. And in the beginning, he's fine. He's just a wrestler, right?
Now he's a booker.
Even the Varsity Club stuff was okay, right? It wasn't bad. But this like Lord of Darkness shit, this like low rent Undertaker thing is just like horrendous. It is the worst. It's some of the worst thing ever.
It's horrendous because he looks like an out of shape dad that's going to the beach with his kids, and not like he's supposed to be some evil mastermind. And he looks, and it's just going to get worse. He gets more and more. His character becomes more and more powerful as the year goes by. But I mean, when we get to his match,
it doesn't really make any sense. But we'll get into that when we get to his match.
But here's the other thing too: is just he's dead. And look, I will say this: I do think he's made the company a lot better as head booker than it was even 2 years before this, 3 years before this. He's made the company a lot. He's certainly better at WCW than Bill Watts and Ole Anderson, right? And a lot of the NWO angles, they say you have to give him the credit. So when and I've seen this with like comedy writers, when he's dealing with other people's material, he's very good. But when it's about himself, he doesn't have a fucking clue. He looks like a fucking idiot. So I'm sorry, we're going to be shitting on him for a long time on this podcast because he is all over 95 to 97. I mean, he's all over it, brother. So,
yeah. So we'll get into it. Superbrawl 5, the world title is on the line in the Superbrawl for it all, taking place February 19th, 1995 in Baltimore, Maryland. 13,390 people are in attendance. Pay-per-view buys, 180,000 pay-per-view buys. In comparison, Superbrawl 1994, which is the Super Bowl before, had 110,000 buys. 110,000 buys. And Superbrawl 1996, the Super Bowl afterwards, will have 210,000 buys. So
it's a draw, brother.
Yeah, it's going up. It's going up. Every Super Brawl, the numbers go up. So that's good. This is a good pay-per-view for WCW.
When you think about the growth they had, it's crazy how fast it all falls apart when it falls apart.
Yeah, but because if you think about it, you're telling me that in basically in 2 years, Super Brawl pay-per-view buys you'll add an extra 100,000. That's basically what happened.
By 97, it's massive. Yeah.
Yeah, that's an amazing growth. That's good for anybody, you know. Um,
But
so
like, if you think it's crazy to me, like 19, like you're watching Super Bowl '98, and to know 3 years after that one, there's just that this is just the last one, and then they're
yeah,
out of
but
business.
when did they start falling apart? Is it 99 or 2000?
I would say the start of them falling apart is Starrcade '97. They do great business in '98. That's the thing. Like things can happen so fucking fast. They do great business in '98. I think the real turning point where like they just completely collapse in terms of everything is when Vince Russo shows up.
Yeah, but when is that? Like I forget. Like when
October '99. I think they still do good numbers on nitros and stuff. Like you still see like a ton of people at nitros in the middle of '99. So like I would say October of '99 is where it completely people just start running away in droves from the company, and then they're out of business like a year and a half later. It's fucking wild. It's fucking wild how fast it happens. That's why it's like like I can't imagine telling my '98 self this company's out of business in 3 years. I can't like I just be like, how? Look at this fucking building. That's the thing.
Yeah,
So
I
like,
know. I remember. I mean, like, just like you. I remember watching I used to be like everybody else. I used to have to like flip back and forth between Raw and Nitro,
mhm.
and it was so much fun. But I remember like they were hot, and then it was just like overnight where they were like a complete joke. You know, it feels like
Yeah.
it shifted like so quickly, but it's weird. But it wasn't like that.
But you know what? It's
So
it's
point, it
so
wasn't.
funny because they have a lot of hiccups as we've watched, right? But over from '92 to today, they've steadily grown. They're doing all the right things. Everyone
Hmm.
involved, they're improving on their mistakes, and it ends so fucking fair. You would think like this proving that we can learn from our mistakes would grant them a grace period, and it just doesn't. But let's talk about this show because this show had a lot of mistakes. So
Yeah. We start off the show with a pretty good Hulk Hogan, Big Van Vader promo hype because this is the match that people want to see. We get to the arena, they got fireworks going off, the crowd is hot. You already get like a big fight feel, right, for this pay per view, and I think that's great. I was like, yeah, this feels like a big fight scenario, you know?
yeah, all right, sorry, that was Jungle Boy. All right, so let's keep going with the podcast.
Yeah, we were talking about how there's a big fight.
IRL, people go nuts. Yeah.
Yeah, people are going nuts. Me and Gene Okerlund, Tony Schiavone, Bobby the Brain Heenan, they welcome us and they mention Flair, Ric Flair, who had retired because he lost to Hulk Hogan. He is here tonight, and they also talk about how Vader he's been going berserk, and we get a shot of a limousine arriving earlier in the day, and Vader comes out of it, and they say they think they saw Ric Flair in the limousine with Vader, but they can't confirm. We only see like a woman in there, but we don't actually see any shots of Flair. And then another limousine comes up in the same like parking garage, and Vader he starts going like, "I smell Hogan. I smell Hogan." He attacks the driver of the other limo. He smashes the window in the other limo, and it's actually Tony Schiavone. Tony Schiavone himself gets a limo, and he got out of it and he ran away. Um, then they show Vader during a show called Main Event. Basically, it's a show right
It's
before.
the it's like it was their version. It was like there's something like Heat. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it was right before the pay per view. It's on the same night, same. They just recorded right before. It's almost like a
But there's
pre-show.
0 hour.
Yeah, and Vader shows up and he starts throwing chairs, and then there's a match going on, tag team match going on in the ring, and he attacks. He attacks Stars and Stripes and Romeo Valentino and Dino Casanova's tag team match, and he beats up all of them, power bombs everybody. Vader's going nuts, and that's how we're starting this show. We go to our first match, a very important match: Paul Roma versus Alex Wright. I see. Did you see Superfan Vlad in the crowd during Alex's intro?
Oh no, I didn't. He made it out.
Yeah, he made it out
Spending
all the way to Baltimore, Maryland, from New York City.
spending all that fucking spending all that MTA money.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure he probably rode the Greyhound, but yeah.
It was worth it. I was worth it to see Alex Wright. Alex Wright, #1, baby. He gonna go places.
That's probably how he said it. That's exactly how he said it.
He gonna be the main
So,
event.
Paul Roma, he attacks Alex Wright during Alex Wright's routine pre-match dancing.
Dance.
And he starts mocking Alex's dancing. And so I thought I had heard about this match before I ever watched it. I thought it was going to be completely one-sided. It's not. Paul Roma does take a few arm drags from Alex Wright, and it's kind of back and forth a little bit in the beginning. Then Paul Orndorff, his Roma's tag team partner and Pretty Wonderful, shows up, and he's at ringside. Then all of a sudden, Roma just starts beating on Alex Wright. And you know what? Here's the thing. The crowd is cheering at this. They love it. They're eating it up. Remember, Paul Roma's a heel, but they're eating him up, just beating on Alex Wright. There is a rest period, and then afterwards, Paul Roma, in like the smoothest fashion, just fucking hops up to like the turnbuckles and then hits a humongous elbow drop. Like so much air. It gets a huge pop. People love it. Then he lets Alex Wright do a little bit more offense, and then they mess up a hip toss, and then Orndorff gets on the apron. Alex Wright drop kicks Paul Roma from the back, and Roma bumps into Paul Orndorff, and then Roma rolls him up for the win. There is some background that needs to be talked about this match, but before we do so, what are your thoughts on that match?
It was an okay opener. It was an okay. It's there. I feel like to get over Alex Wright. I feel like at the time they really were believing into Alex Wright, but it was just okay. I mean, it wasn't anything that great.
Okay. Yeah, it's not a bad match. Now, in a 2013 RF Rob Feinstein Videos production shoot interview, Paul Roma said we were supposed to do an angle of who is prettier, right? Like, because remember, he's pretty Paul Roma, and Alex Wright, he's a good-looking kid, and all the women go gaga over him. So, the storyline is supposed to be Paul Roma's mad about this. I'm prettier than this guy, and that's how they're supposed to feud. And he said that when Ric Flair asked him, hey, you want to feud with him? He said, I'll feud with him, because remember, Alex Wright is a rookie. He's very new. And we were like, we want to pair him up with you so he can get some experience. And he said, Paul Roma said this. He said, I will work with him and I'll lose to him in all the house shows, but I don't want to lose to him on TV. Right? He said, I don't want to job to this guy on TV. Right? And in the interview, they said, why didn't you want to job to him? And you know what his response was? Because he's a fucking jabroni. That's exactly how he said it. That's exactly how Paul Roma said it. Because he's a fucking jabroni. That's why. I'm Paul Roma. I'm not jobbing to this jabroni. So the night of the pay-per-view, Superbrawl, he sees the sheet and he goes, all right, Rick, what do you want me to do? And Ric Flair goes, Alex Wright goes over. And Paul Roma was like, what? What did you say? Like, we had an agreement that I'm not jobbing to this guy on TV. And Ric Flair said, that's what the office wants. My hands are tied. That's what the office wants. And Paul Roma did not believe this. He didn't believe. Let me ask you a question. Do you believe that when Ric Flair said, it's my hands are tied, that's what the office wants?
No, there's more of a future in 1995 with Alex Wright to Paul Roma. I still think they could have turned Alex Wright into something. And if Paul Roma doesn't see that, then that's his own fucking fault.
Okay, so
obviously they didn't.
So you believe Ric Flair saying that was not his call? It was the office's call?
No, I believe it was his call. But I also think that, like, I would have made the same call. You're losing to Alex Wright. Alex Wright, they fucked it up. But what I'm saying is there's more of a future with Alex Wright.
Can you put on pause for a second?
Hey, Brew.
I got to talk to them. Okay.
We're back. Alex Wright for life, baby.
Yeah, so I agree. Alex Wright, he's like young. There's more of a future with him than Paul Roma. But I was just curious, like, because Paul Roma didn't believe Ric Flair when Ric Flair said that's what the office wants, because he was like, who's the office? You're the guy booking it, So he thinks Ric Flair lied to him and just made that call.
Yeah, so because he knows that Paul Roma just, like, it gets in your face and he just wants to, like, move on with his day.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Paul Roma says to the referee in the match, this is about respect in the back. And then he goes and then he decides to go off script and not make Alex Wright look good, but just like no selling some of the moves, and even when he got covered, I don't know if he saw, he kicked out at 2. The ref just still counted 3 because like he just like I had enough, like. But he
Mhm.
didn't even like. I don't even think he even got technically pinned.
Did he get fired for this?
Yeah. So what happens is the very next day, Paul Roma got a FedEx letter letting him know that his contract is not going to be
Yeah.
renewed. The following month, he's going to get fired. He got on. Ric Flair called him and said, "Hey, I heard. So you don't want to wrestle anymore?" And Roma was like, "What? What do you mean I don't want to wrestle anymore?" He goes, "Well, why'd you do that? It was a terrible match." And he was like, "No, that was a great match, Rick. That was a great match. Everybody thinks that was a great match." And he goes, "Well, I don't think it was." And Paul Roma said, "I don't give a fuck what you think."
Great. Good job, Paul Roma.
Yeah.
Look, Paul Roma, I like the fact that he always stood up for himself. I like the fact that he didn't accept the bullshit. But what he has to accept, and now looking back, he can be like, well, you were wrong. Alex Wright amounted to nothing.
Yeah.
Well, but what you have to accept in February of 1995 is that Alex Wright, and I believe this, under the right hands, I almost think it could have been Vince's hands, could have been a big deal. And doing what you do, that's not fair to Alex Wright. That's not fair to anybody. And I don't know why you're so surprised, Paul Roma, that they fired you.
That's a good point because Alex Wright was interviewed about this as well in 2022, just a few years ago.
Yeah.
And when he was asked about this, he said, Paul Roma is actually a great worker. And he had some good matches with him previously. And he said, I respect Paul Roma, but it was really unfortunate that he decided to be unprofessional. And he says, like, also, this was not my call. So it's really messed up that he did that to me.
Yeah, it's Alex Wright. Yeah, Alex Wright is still new. Look, Triple H did the job for him, and fucking Triple H is now running wrestling. It wasn't like Triple H's life was ruined because he lost to Alex Wright on pay-per-view.
Exactly. And when they asked him, why didn't you fight back when you saw that the match was not going off script? Alex Wright said, I was 19 years old. I just got into WCW a year ago. I didn't want to lose my job. So I just did what was respecting the veteran, like I was taught. And then he said, after the match, when I went in the back, they said to me, next time, kid, you defend yourself. Meaning they told him next time something like this happens, you got to fight back. Anyways,
I guarantee you, if he tried to fight back, Paul Orndorff would have punched him in the back. I guarantee you.
Probably, yeah.
Well, it was a no-win situation for him.
Yeah. After this match, Paul Roma his contract would expire in March 1995, and he will not be renewed. And that's pretty much the end of Paul Roma. So
I think, you know what? That was a stupid hill to die on.
It was a stupid hill to die on. Yeah.
It was an incredibly dumb thing. Like, it's like nobody cares that you lose to Alex Wright. I actually thought he kept going for a few more months. I didn't know he got fired because he had to make a big sting about putting over Alex Wright. And I want to be like, hey, so let me ask you a question. Was Triple H's career ruined for losing to Alex Wright? Because that's his only WCW match is him losing Alex Wright.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, he fucked Vince's daughter. Oh, okay, that's why. Okay.
Yeah, but if you listen to Paul Roma, he's so like I like Paul Roma as a wrestler, but if you listen to him, he's like so full of himself. He thinks he's like God. He thinks he's better than Ricky Steamboat, right?
He's not even better than Ricky Starks.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's a good one.
All right. Well, goodbye, Paul Roma. It was a nice little fucking little trek you had. Good thing you stood up against the evils of Alex Wright. You know what I just thought? Because they're doing Bash in Berlin in 2 weeks. They should have Alex Wright come out and dance.
They should. They should have Alex Wright at Bash in Berlin. They should have him somewhere.
Maybe he can dance to the ring with Naomi or something.
Yeah, they should. You know what? They really should do that. They should really be like, hey, Alex, we're going to be in Germany. Would you like to come out and do a little cameo, right? Like they did with like Savio Vega, Puerto Rico, right? And Carlito. They really need to do that. That would be awesome. I bet you if they did that, the German fans would go apeshit, 100%.
I would go apeshit. It's time. It's time.
It is time.
And all he has to do is dance. He just has to dance in the aisle.
Yeah. Just put on a leather jacket and then dance. That's all he needs to do, right?
Yeah, he deserves it. And then he can pin Paul Roma again. they go, Paul, hi, yeah, it's me, Triple H. We want you back in WWE. Vince is gonna get a big role for you. And he gets there, goes, you lose to Alex Wright at Bash.
You know what stinks about Alex Wright? Columbine ruined his
the Berlin thing.
Yeah,
well, also
Berlin
Vince
was
Russo.
cool.
He also, who else went against the script on him was I remember this being really weird. Fall Brawl 99 is his first Berlin match, and he fights Jim Duggan, and Jim Duggan stops following the script. He gets annoyed with him for some reason. It makes him look bad. And then Vince Russo came, and Vince Russo decided that it would be funny to make Berlin look like an idiot and push the wall. He's just had so much bad luck over and over again. He's had bad luck. The guy, I don't know why he didn't get picked up by WWE when the invasion happened. I think he'd be really funny dancing with Rikishi and Scotty 2 Hotty. I don't know what he did, but man, I don't know why people like that with this guy. I like him. I like his little dance.
He was all right. I never was a huge Alex Wright fan. I thought he was always just I think saying that he was going to be the next big thing was maybe too. That was what hurt him the most.
Yeah, but I mean, I definitely think if you think about it, let's look at it like this. He's 19 in 1995. That means he was 39 in 2015. He could conceivably still be wrestling in WWE in 2015. And he could have had a period where he changed everything about him. To give up on this guy when he's not even 25 is fucking crazy to me.
But he's not the only person that's happened to. Ken Doane
I know.
example.
Bro, can you believe that he would have been 39 in 2015? He's younger than he's younger than most of the fucking roster, bro. It's fucking crazy.
All right. Okay, so we got Mean Gene Okerlund. He's in the back with Harlem Heat and Sister Sherry. And Sherry says the Nasties are losers. They're going to lose tonight. Mean Gene Okerlund mistakenly calls Stevie Ray Booker T, which pisses off Stevie Ray pretty bad. And then Booker T says, hey, we got a new move tonight. We're going to show it off. I don't think they do it, but he mentions it. Match number 2, Ray Goots' favorite Southern wrestler, Buckhouse Buck,
with
Colonel Parker and Meng versus Jim Duggan, who will go on to no sell for Berlin, Alex Wright, and Vader. But for now, he's facing Bunkhouse Buck. And Jim Duggan attacks Buck right away while he's still holding the American flag in one hand. They fight on the floor, and then Jim Duggan hits the post outside, but he no-sells that. So he's no-selling in this match as well. And he just beats on Buck until he gets throat chopped, and then by Buck with a rope. But then Jim just continues to beat on Buck. So I don't know if you know, this match was a little one-sided. It was pretty much mostly Jim Duggan.
It should be. The Bunkhouse Buck should be thrown out in the fucking garbage.
Yeah, it's pretty much. Anyway, Jim Duggan hits his 3-point stance finisher, and he wins. And as soon as he wins, he gets up, and then he gets Savate kicked in the face by Meng right afterwards. And then Meng puts a nerve hold on him. And that is the match. What do you think about match number 2?
Stunk. I mean, the one thing about this show is you fully feel the Hulk Hogan regime has won, and the Southern WCW regime is in retreat. Everything feels like a pale imitation of a WWF 1990 match, but this match really sucked. Bunkhouse Buck, get out, go away. I think this is it for him. Good riddance. I hope I never see you again. You're a fucking failure. And that's it. That's all I have to say about this match. Fucking stunk.
Mean Gene Okerlund, he is with the Nasty Boys, and all they do is just yell the whole time. This promo is just them yelling the whole time. They're yelling about winning the tag team titles. Nobody gives promos like this anymore, I feel like. Back then there used to be lots of yellers. There's not any yellers anymore. We need yellers. We need somebody who's yelling.
Hangman Page has been yelling lately.
Really? The whole promo?
Yeah, there's 2 promos where he's just yelling the entire time.
Oh, okay. I kind of miss those kind of promos. It's yelling. We got match number 3. Ray Goots' favorite dark side wrestler, Kevin Sullivan, with the Butcher. And Kevin Sullivan is still doing the Bruiser Brody thing as he walks to the ring. Right? This is what we're talking about. It doesn't even make sense. Is he a evil genius, or is he an evil buffoon? Which is it? Because he's walking to the ring going, hush, hush, hush. and he's like looking deranged, but like on the other side, he's giving like these promos. It just like doesn't make any sense to me. Anyway, he's gonna be fighting brother Dave Sullivan. They fight right away. Dave gets tripped up by the Butcher, and then Kevin takes over the match. And Dave, however, fights back, including some of his offense was including biting Kevin Sullivan on the stomach. Did you see that move that Dave Sullivan did? Biting him on the stomach. I've never seen that before.
This was the moment I turned on this show. I was like, this is atrocious. I hated this match.
I've never seen an offense in a wrestling match where the guys, I'm gonna bite you on the stomach. Kevin Sullivan rams Dave into the Butcher and then rolls up Dave Sullivan for the win. After this match, Butcher, who is Brutus Beefcake, he's rolling around on the mat on the floor, selling his face because he got bumped into by Dave Sullivan. He's just like, oh, my face. Because remember, he had surgery to repair face.
That's Sullivan, yeah.
He did more selling from this bump than when like Hulk Hogan was hitting him in the face with a steel chair. Like
repeatedly. Yeah. Now he's selling like a fucking doofus.
Now he's selling his face like, oh no, I'm bumping somebody's head. This is far worse. Stupid. It's so dumb.
Dude, you know what I thought about? Like, I thought about, man, he was so over like 5 years before this. He was so over Brutus Beefcake. And now, like, he's just playing fucking a second fiddle to this out of shape fucking doofus. And I was just like, oh, this match made me so angry. And this match was it was so bad, dude. Kevin Sullivan's so bad in the ring. I'm sorry. He's fucking just awful. And Dave Sullivan too. But like also Dave just Sullivan, like you're telling me there's no way that you could try to get Brutus Beefcake over again. Like there's no way like he's just now just gonna be Kevin Sullivan's bitch. Dude, atrocious.
Yeah, this was pretty bad. Also this is a feud that's been going on for like a long time at this point. Like Kevin Sullivan versus brother Dave Sullivan. Like, when is this gonna end? Like, I need it to end.
It's still going. It's still going in heaven.
Yeah, but this wasn't this feud like pretty much all of 1994.
Yeah, it's still going.
Yeah, it's like it's not ending. It's like, please fucking end this. Nobody wants to see this feud. How does I don't know, like
Kevin Sullivan gets what he wants because he's Hogan. You know, he's helping. He's the booker. He's helping Ric Flair with the book stuff. He gets what he wants. Yeah. I don't know why. I think eventually Eric Bischoff said to him, "You have to retire if you're going to keep being the booker." But like, I don't know why they allowed him to go out on TV looking like this every fucking week and having these matches at angles that nobody cares about.
Yeah, it's crazy. All right, so they show Pedro Morales, former WWF champion, Pedro Morales and Miguel Alonso on the Spanish announced team. What's the problem between Pedro and WWE? Why doesn't he like work with them?
I think something with Vince Jr., with your best friend Jr.
Okay. Me and Gino.
I think I remember it. It's about money. I think the guys that weren't taking. So I know Ivan Koloff was very mean to Vince Sr., which is why he's forever gotten the cold shoulder by WWF, right? Maybe it's something like that, where if you're mean to the old man when the old man was the boss, you just get iced out.
I see. Maybe that's possible. Yeah. And it's crazy because he's the first like Hispanic WWF champion. And he doesn't get mentioned like
dude, it's got to be either money or being mean to the old man, to the true Vince.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, he doesn't get mentioned at all. He's just and he had like Pedro Morales had like a really long title reign too. It was like really up.
Did he get in? I feel like though he got into the Hall of Fame. Hold on,
I'm Hall of Fame, but it was like a long time ago. It was.
Yeah, but hold on.
Yeah.
Now you got me. Oh, he's still alive. Oh no, he died. He died. Oh, they didn't even acknowledge it on TV.
Yeah, he didn't acknowledge it. That was 2019. That wasn't like that long.
But nobody
in New Jersey.
But nobody talks about him. When they talk about like 70s wrestling, no one really talks about him.
Yeah, he was in the 1995 Hall of Fame, but yes, 1995 Hall of Fame. But yeah, nobody talks about him. It's just something. You know what I think? He's the one who fucked us, Stephanie McMahon. That's what happened.
No, that's
That
not it.
is,
Did he get
that's
in the
not.
Hall? So
No, I
he's
think that's
inducted the next year in into the Hall of Fame. So in '95, oh no, the same year he gets inducted. So somehow at some point this year they make up. He gets
yeah.
inducted into the first Hall of Fame. So yeah, I don't know. You know what the thing about it is though, like uh he kind of was like a transitional guy. Superstar Billy Graham, you can be like, oh, he was like the proto Hogan and Scott Steiner. And with Bruno Sammartino, you can be like, he was like the original. And even with Bob Backlund, you can be like, oh, he was our goofy guy. But I don't know, like Ivan Koloff and him and Stan Stasiak, there's not a lot to talk about, you know?
Yeah, but Pedro, unlike Stasiak, he held the WWF title for a really long time. He had like one of the longest reigns. You know that? He's up there.
Junior just likes being racist.
Yeah, I guess so. Speaking of racist, we got Mean Gene Okerlund. He's in the back with Big Bubba Rogers and Avalanche. And they say they're going to finish off Randy Savage and Sting. I really like that Avalanche isn't like moving back and forth during his promos. I couldn't stand that when he used to do that. So bad.
I feel like finally Ray Traylor is finally feeling comfortable in WCW as Big Bubba Rogers again.
Yeah.
He feels, yeah.
Yeah, because that's his original thing. That's his own thing. That's perfectly fine. Match number, and you know what? Boss Man just works better as a heel. He always has. Yeah. Match number 4, we got the tag titles on the line. We got the Nasty Boys versus Harlem Heat, the champions, with Sister Sherry. As the Harlem Heat is making their entrance, Booker T yells like at this black kid for touching his hand. Did you see that? And she scared the crap out of it. He just goes like, "What?" Like he just yelled at this black kid. So mean. Booker T and Brian Knobbs, they start off the match, and Knobbs slaps Booker T, who starts attacking him, but then he misses like a kick, and then he gets crotched on the top rope, and Brian Knobbs has fun with him on the top rope. It's a fun spot. Stevie Ray and Sags gets in, and they throw some hard punches on each other, really hard punches. They look like they look legit. And then they start working on Stevie's left leg. Then Jerry Sags takes a drop kick to the face, and then when he's outside, Sherry grabs him and rams his head into the steel rail. Sags is like, he's hardcore. He takes some real shots to the face, and he's just like still standing. Then Sags gets a back kick to the face, and then falls. He falls down the steps that's in the ring and everything, and then Booker T kicks him in the face as well. I don't know if you saw it. He hits him. He makes contact right in the face. Sherry then punches him in the face. All these hits, they look like they actually connect. I've always heard that Jerry Sags, out of the two Nasty Boys, he was like the legit tough guy of the team. And if you watch the match, you could tell he probably really was. Anyway, Brian Knobbs does tag in, and then he cleans up. And then when the referee is distracted, Stevie Ray holds up Brian Knobbs for Sister Sherry to climb to the top rope. But as she's coming off, she actually ends up hitting Stevie Ray with the shoe instead. And then when Brian Knobbs ducks, and then Brian Knobbs gets the win. But the referee, Randy Anderson, comes in. He says, no, that's a DQ, because even though there was all this like foreign objects, Jerry Sags threw Booker T over the top rope. That's a DQ in WCW, brother. So Harlem Heat wins by disqualification and retain their titles. That's the match. What do you think about this match?
I can't shake the feeling that these Harlem Heat Nasty Boy matches are what I always call the time filler matches on these shows. It was okay, but I don't know. I don't know. It just seems very like wrestling for wrestling's sake. I don't know. I kind of feel like I don't know. I kind of also feel like Sherry takes away from the Harlem Heat. I don't know, man. I keep saying I don't know. It was all right, but it just seems like there's something missing.
I like this match until the finish, that bullshit, stupid finish they did. At this point, I'm really enjoying almost every Nasty Boys match. Like they just have good matches, you
They're
know?
good. But
Yeah,
again,
they're
like I
pretty
know
good.
what you're saying the finish, that backs up my thing. Like this is there to kill time. Like they want these guys to wrestle because they're at the next pay-per-view, and I think they're at the pay-per-view after. They want to kill 4 pay-per-views with these guys. So they're gonna keep doing bullshit finishes.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay,
Yeah.
so then yeah, I mean that to me that takes away from it because especially
Mhm.
since I think these two teams they seem to have good chemistry together, you know?
Yeah.
But it is what it is. I'm like you at this point. This is match number 4, but I'm not really. Besides
I'm
that
not really
first
feeling this
match,
show.
yeah. Besides the first match, which is only interesting because of the background, right? Of
Which
what
I didn't even
happened.
know, so it wasn't interesting to me. So yeah.
Yeah, well, but yeah. Besides that, we're 4 matches in, and nothing's really wowing. They're not
Mhm.
stinkers like Abdul the Butcher versus Carlos Colon, but they're not fun. It's not a fun
I
game.
don't think we're ever gonna see something that bad in 1995 WCW. But
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Mean Gene Okerlund, he is with Randy Savage and Sting, and Savage yells, "I'm not talking. I'm not talking." He's pacing back and forth, and Sting has to do all talking. He shows one of his bruises on his chest that Randy Savage actually gave him, which I thought was kind of funny. He's like, "You see this bruise?" I thought it was gonna be from like Avalanche. He goes, "Randy Savage gives me from chopping me in the chest." I was like, that was weird. Weird to bring that up. That was so funny. I think he was just annoyed that Randy Savage gave him a bruise on the chest.
Randy Savage likes to abuse me.
Yeah. We get a montage of the history between Colonel Parker bailing the Blacktop Bully out of jail and then going, hey, now, you know, that cost a lot of money. You got to pay off your debt. And you got to pay it off by going after Dustin Rhodes and their feud.
Oh boy.
We're going to go to match number 5. Blacktop Bully, who comes out with an air horn that just stops working midway in the entrance. I saw that. And he's with Parker and Meng. And as they're walking out, Commissioner Nick Bockwinkel sends Meng away. He goes, no, Meng can't be ringside. So no.
Why was he ringside for the Hacksaw match though?
No, I don't think Meng was ringside at Hacksaw's match.
Didn't he attack Hacksaw at the end?
Oh yeah, you're right. Actually, no, you're right. Yeah, he was. No, maybe that's why. Actually, that would
Maybe
make
that's
sense.
why because he attacked Hacksaw. Like we can't have you
Yeah, he
attack
attacked Hacksaw right. He goes, you know
the
what?
natural.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, that makes sense. Okay. All right, Nick Bockwinkel finally making some sense. All right. He's gonna be fighting Blacktop Bully's gonna be fighting Dustin Rhodes, and they fight while Dustin still has his jacket on. The bully chop blocks Dustin, but Dustin is able to fight back. Dustin runs the ropes, and then Bully tries doing the leapfrog, and then Dustin just stops and then punches him in the face when he lands. That was a cool spot. Fans start chanting KFC at Colonel Rob Parker, who also gets his kicks in on Dustin Rhodes when the ref's not looking. This KFC chant, this is kind of like WCW's answer to Burger King chants to Jerry Lawler.
Yeah.
Which do you like better, the KFC chant or Burger King chant?
Burger King.
Burger King, all right. I like this KFC one. He does look like Colonel Sanders. He's just like him.
Hebrew.
Dustin Rhodes does the same spot he does where he misses the flying crossbody and he rolls down the ring steps and everything. But then he starts doing his comeback and then hits his bulldog. But Rob Parker puts the bully's foot on the rope during the cover, so that breaks it. So then Dustin's mad and he suplexes Colonel Parker into the ring and Parker rolls out the other side of the ring. But then when Dustin he gets the bully on the apron and he tries to vertical suplex the bully from the apron, Parker grabs Dustin's foot, which trips him up, and the bully lands on top of him, and he holds on Dustin's foot and leg so that the bully covers Dustin, and Dustin can't kick out for the Blacktop Bully to actually win. Interesting. What did you think about this match?
Off. There's moments. Like they talk about fork in the road moments. Like you can go one way, you can go the other, right?
Mm-hmm.
There are moments like this, and I kind of feel like feuding with this guy was what did Dustin in as a serious main eventer. First of all, this guy wasn't over. He stinks. His gimmick stinks. And the next month, Dustin has the match that gets him fired, and then he becomes Goldust, and his life is never the same again. But I really do think, seeing what Cody has done, I think WCW could have done that with Dustin. I think after the Terry Funk feud, they should have elevated Dustin. He should be with Sting and Savage and Hogan. He shouldn't be fucking feuding with Demolition, fucking Smash. That's who this guy is, by the way.
Yeah, Demolition Smash, yeah.
It's a, it's just I feel bad because this is the moment his life falls apart. This feud, and
they really shouldn't have. Something happened when Hulk Hogan came in, where guys like Steve Austin and Dustin Rhodes, who were like, and like Brian Pillman and stuff like that, guys who were like really making noise in the mid card, just kind of disappear. They start disappearing.
Yeah, and I just this is just a waste of Dustin Rhodes' time, and he stops becoming Dustin Rhodes. I'm now more and more convinced. The more I see of Cody as the champ, and the more I watch all these old matches, that Goldust was to humiliate. What? The only reason you would give Dustin Rhodes that gimmick was to embarrass and humiliate. That is the only, and he got it over. He got it over. We still talk about it, but he could have been so much more if you pushed him if you treated him like they treating Cody. If you treat him like that in 95, 96 in WWF, he could have been like a WWF champion. You can't convince me otherwise. Instead, you went out of your way to humiliate.
And I will say this. Part of the problem then, you have to say it's Hogan. Because, dude, it can't be a coincidence that all of a sudden Hogan comes in and all these guys before Hogan, all these like strong mid-card acts start disappearing. Steve Austin's no longer on this fucking show. Steve
Austin's on the pre-show for the next two shows and he vanishes.
What the hell's going on? There's no more Brian Pillman. There's no more Steve Austin. Dustin Rhodes, who had at this point, him and Steve Austin have been in the main events a whole bunch of times, now relegated to feuds like this with Blacktop Bully, while you got guys like Butcher and Jim Duggan getting elevated. Dude, Hogan's part of the problem with this. This is what
it is. No, it is. And for whatever reason, and you know, and the crazy thing to me, and I think this is where causes the rift between Dustin and Dusty, is Dustin is Dusty's son. And I think Dustin had a lot of resentment. Like, you can't talk. You're like one of the top executives. You can't fucking talk to somebody and get me rehired. And when the rift happened between him and the son, and I almost think, and Dust, basically Cody and Dustin said that firing was to fuck with Dusty. When the word came down to fire Dustin, it was like a way to fuck with Dusty more so than they were mad at Dustin. And to me, it's like these petty politics, and they kind of ruined this guy's life. You know, I'm sure, listen, maybe I'm in the wrong, but Dustin Rhodes is like, actually, the last fucking 30 years of my life have been fucking fantastic, and I'm having a great time in AEW, and this, that, and the third.
I think he is having a good time in AEW.
Yeah, okay, that's fine, but you could have been what your brother is. You 100% could have been what your brother is, and don't tell me you don't think what if Vince treated me seriously. I'm telling you, that was to humiliate him and his father. That Goldust gimmick. I'm now more convinced than ever.
Well, Goldust really got over. I mean, it was hot.
I know, but he's never the same worker. He's never the. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we'll watch his matches in a few months. We'll be like, oh, this. But yeah, this gets me mad because it's a waste of potential. It's a waste of the future. You have a lot of key future components, and you're pissing them away for Hacksaw Jim Duggan and Avalanche.
Yeah. So Mean Gene, he is with Vader again, and Vader throws a chair again, scares Mean Gene. And then Vader comes out and he's asked, "What time is it? What time is it?" Vader time. Then Gene asks him, "Hey, who was that in the limo with you?" And Vader goes, "It doesn't matter who was in the limo with me. It doesn't.
It's a Rock."
That's exactly how Vader said it. And he goes, "Hulk, when after this is all said and done, you're going to say, you are the man." So I personally thought this was a great promo by
yeah, it's good. Vader's really hitting all the right things here.
Yeah, good menacing like 1990s heel promo. I loved it. It was fantastic. Mean Gene he's by the stage. He's in the arena in the stage area, and he welcomes Ric Flair. Ric Flair comes out, and then Mean Gene right away asks him, "Hey, were you in Vader's limo?" And Ric Flair doesn't deny it. He just goes, "Really gonna ask me that?" And he goes, "Hey, there's a party here tonight." and there's gonna be a party at the Marriott later where I'm gonna sexually harass some women. So come out to the Marriott later. And he's like, I'm gonna be sitting ringside. And this promo gave Mean Gene a boner. And that's about it. We're gonna
He's
go
like, I'll be there.
Yeah. When he mentions the Marriott, Mean Gene gets all flustered, like, oh, I want to be at the Marriott. We're gonna go to match number 6. Bubba Rogers, Avalanche versus Sting and Randy Savage. Randy Savage with no rodeo shirt this time. No rodeo clown shirt. Thank goodness. They show you Great Muta and Sonny Ono sitting in the crowd watching the match. This is our first sighting. Is this our first sighting of Sonny Ono?
Yeah.
I don't like Sonny Ono.
I fucking hate him. As an Asian person, you should protest his existence.
Yeah,
he just feels.
Sonny, yeah,
he reminds me of Brian. He feels like a white guy doing an Asian person impression.
That's a good. That's
we said that about Brian. Someone said about Brian Kim. That's Sonny Ono. Yeah. Sonny Ono's like a guy. He's like a guy who doesn't mind being a stereotype and doesn't mind like shitting on his people. And to me, and he just doesn't go away. He's like a bringer show producer. I can't fucking stand him. I can't fucking.
He's gonna be around for a long. He's still around actually.
He's around to the end of WCW.
Yeah,
he never goes away.
If you go to like these like rental, these conventions and stuff, like he's always there too. He's like,
he's Ultimo Dragon's real life manager right now to this day.
Yeah.
But he just seems like the type of guy who you'll be like, hey, I want Ultimo Dragon to blow my dog. I'll pay you $75. And in front of Ultimo Dragon, he's like, no, absolutely not. He would never do it. Then he'll be like, hey, what about $250? He'll blow the dog for $250. He'll be like, Ultimo, it's a great opportunity for you to blow the dog. Come on.
Yeah. All right. So Sting and Avalanche. I call them Earthquake. I was like Sting and Earthquake. Sting and Avalanche. They start the match, and then Bubba Rogers gets involved right away. And Sting superplexes Bubba Rogers. The fans love everything about Randy Savage. Every move that he gets in, they love it. And then when he finally actually tags in, he goes right up to Avalanche, who's on the apron, and he slaps him. And that pisses off Avalanche, and they square up. And when they square up, Randy Savage slaps him again. That shit was so fun. The crowd was like, oh, that shit was awesome. That shit was awesome. Sting starts splashing Bubba Rogers and then Quake, and then Bubba Rogers, then Quake. But then when he tries to go it again, Quake just swats him down really hard. It was another great spot. Flair starts taunting Randy Savage from ringside, and they kind of get into each other's face. And then Sting, there's this point where he's like in La La Land. He's dizzy. He gets a punch from Bubba Rogers, and then he just kind of falls on head first into Avalanche's balls for another cool spot. Sting gets perched up on the top, but he starts losing his balance. So he just jumps ship, and he lands on Avalanche's back, who falls over Bubba Rogers for Sting to pin him for the win. As soon as this match is over, Savage starts going after Ric Flair on ringside, who starts hiding behind the security guard, who kind of gets roughed up by Randy Savage, but he no-sells it. I like this match. The crowd really loved this match, too. This was probably the match of the night right
here. Oh, you like this match?
You didn't like it.
I kind of felt the weak link was Avalanche again. I think he kind of took away my enjoyment of it. I like seeing Savage again in the ring.
Man, Avalanche wasn't even that bad in this match because
for real, I thought it.
Like when Randy Savage slaps him and he has that look on the face, and everyone's like, oh, even Tony Schiavone's like, oh, you shouldn't have done that. To be fair, out of everybody in this match, he was definitely the weak link, but he wasn't like Tatanka bad, Tatanka was fucking bad, right? But this match, the crowd was super into this match because people all they wanted, they want Savage in the ring, they want Savage around, and WWE wasn't doing it. And I think Savage is happy to be in the ring, and especially to be in the ring with two guys who are still kind of over, and people want a Savage, and
What a mistake by Vince McMahon. What a mistake. As good as the Bam and Bigelow match was, the last show we watched, nobody really cares. They care about Savage. They don't care about those guys.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. What didn't you like about this match?
I just thought Earthquake. I just thought it was very. It just felt very slow moving to me. I don't know. I just felt Earthquake didn't add a lot to it. I don't know. I couldn't get into it. I like seeing Savage again, but it just seemed very like slow.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So Vader, we get a Vader montage. Him confronting Hulk Hogan and power bombing everybody, including Hulk Hogan. Great event. Great montage. And then Mean Gene Okerlund, he's with Hulk Hogan and Jimmy Hart. And Hulk Hogan does his basic, where this is where the power lies promo thing. Nothing Hulk Hogan. It's just kind of a shame because Vader, this is like a big time matchup. To me, it has a big fight feel, right? And Vader's bringing it on the promos and everything. And I was expecting Hulk Hogan to really give like a good promo, like a fired up. Like I get it when he's fighting guys like Butcher and when he's fighting Avalanche, who he had already previously done something with when he was Earthquake. His heart's not in it, but I felt like, man, this is something new. This is like almost like a dream matchup. Why can't you just like give us a little extra? But he's already like tuned out. To me, I felt watching this promo. We're gonna go to match number 7, our main event. This is for the WCW World Title. We got Vader, who's got a cape on, but no Harley Race. Why was Harley Race not here?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Maybe he was like, dude, I don't want to fucking be anywhere near Hulk Hogan. Maybe that's why.
Maybe Hogan put me through that table and fucked up my career. Maybe.
Yeah. Vader's gonna be fighting Hulk Hogan, the champion, with Jimmy Hart. They go face to face and they start mouthing off at each other. And then Hogan starts punching him, and Vader just no-sells all these punches. But he does have to take his mask off. Then Hogan slaps and punches Vader, who again no-sells. And then Hogan starts showing fear in his eyes, like, "Whoa, this guy's not going down."
Like, brother, what? Brother, who?
I think who Hogan really does that the best.
Yeah.
That like, oh my god, like looking around, like, what the fuck's going on? Like, but you need to do that. That's what you do to connect with the crowd. Like, I love that. There needs to be somebody who needs to do that shit again, like really well, like just like Hogan. Vader, he does his punches on Hogan. He clotheslines him and he splashes him as well. And Hogan has to take a breather outside. Then Hogan, while on the outside, he sends Vader over the rails into the crowd right in front of Ric Flair. And then Hogan beats on Vader and then sends him over the top rope again in front of 2 fans who are sitting at ringside dressed like Harlem Heat and Meng. Did you catch those 2 guys?
Yeah, I saw that. Was kind of fun.
Yeah, that is fun. I love it when fans dress up. Vader then takes over and Vader bombs Hulk Hogan for a 2 count. And then typical Vader fashion, he goes, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go for a moonsault that I never hit. And then he goes up and he misses the moonsault, of course. Then Hulk Hogan hits Vader on the head with a chair, not once, but twice, and there's no disqualification. This is stupid as hell. They never said this was a no DQ match in the beginning of the match. The referee just allowing it. Because it's Hulk Hogan, I guess.
Same with Hogan and Brutus last time.
Why did Hogan start doing this? Start using a chair? Like, he started doing this, yeah, right? Like, he doesn't like every match. Why does he start doing this?
Maybe he thinks it makes him look tougher. I don't know.
Yeah, it's really dumb. After another beating, Hulk Hogan starts hulking up, and then Vader kicks out at 1 on the leg drop. Kicks out at 1. And then there's a referee bump, and then Vader power bombs Hulk Hogan, but there's no referee. Then Ric Flair gets in, and he starts stomping on Hogan, and then Vader splashes Hulk one more time, but then Hogan no-sells it. He gets right up. He sends Vader over the top rope, and then Ric Flair gets back in the ring, and then Hogan starts beating on Ric Flair. The ref calls for the bell because Ric Flair's in there. That's the disqualification, not the steel chair, but Ric Flair that's DQ. And Vader and Flair, they start double teaming Hulk Hogan, and Randy Savage and Sting run down. They save Hulk Hogan, and that's how the show ends. This was very disappointing, in my opinion.
Oh, I kind of enjoyed this match. Hogan and Vader were hitting each other really hard, I thought.
It was good until near the ending. Yeah, just like not just the finish.
It's the same thing as the fucking Nasty Boys Harlem Heat. Like we need to.
It's not just the finish. It's not just the finish. It's like Hogan starts like near the end of the match, start doing Hogan things like using a steel chair for no fucking reason, right? And there's no
And
DQ.
Hogan not selling.
Yeah, and then not selling when like when like just he goes like, oh, I'm gonna just stop selling at this point. Like it just, and this is all before like that Ric Flair stupid bullshit DQ ending. So it's just like I'm at this point really not enjoying Hulk Hogan's matches, man. They're just bad. They're just really bad.
I enjoyed this match because it was crazy to see Hogan taking real shots. What I felt the thing with this match is the first half. It feels like he's trying to have like this competitive Japanese style, strong style match, and at the end he's just like, I'm just going to do my formula now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. He just goes like, you know what? I think I'm just gonna do my thing that I normally do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, I don't think there was enough time away from Ric Flair. So it comes across as so these stipulations you have don't mean shit because Ric Flair lost a retirement match. Hasn't even been like November, December. It's been 4 months and he's back. You know, and it's like so. I guess none of this means anything. So, but I don't know. I like the first half of the match. It was the most interested. Then when Hogan did the armbar, I don't know. It was the most interested I've been in the show. To me, the show was very lackluster. But when Hogan and Savage were on the screen, the crowd went nuts. They loved it. So.
Yeah, but this is not a good sign of
Sure.
things, in my opinion. You know.
Oh no! Well, this is why Hogan had to turn heel is because eventually, right now they're still excited.
Eventually,
They probably
everyone gets sick and tired of this shit.
everyone gets sick and tired of this shit, and he had to turn heel, and then he saved the world. All right, I say skip this show. What do you say?
Yeah, I would say don't watch it. You don't even need to watch this Vader Hogan. It's stupid. It's not worth it.
All right, well, the next few weeks we have Uncensored 95, Hogan versus Vader in a strap match. Then we have WrestleMania 11, which is LT versus Bam Bam. Then we have In Your House 1, which is Diesel versus Sid. And then finally in 4 weeks, we have Slamboree 95, which is the Mega Powers versus Vader and Flair. He's already back. What are you looking forward to?
I would guess at this point, WrestleMania 11, because wait, what is even the main event, WrestleMania 11?
LT versus Bam Bam. Just said it.
That's the main event?
Yeah. The title match is
it's like Shawn Michaels Diesel in the championship match, right?
That's in the mid card.
Oh man, that's crazy. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. What about you? What do you want to watch?
I still am enjoying. I know, I still kind of want to see more Hogan Vader, so I'm looking forward to next week just for that match. The rest of the card, I remember seeing this show years ago. It's abysmal. But that match I want to see again, and then I'm looking forward to In Your House 1 just to see like how the show. That one has Hakushi Bret Hart, so.
Oh, I didn't know that. That sounds like it's gonna.
That's not. I only list the main event, but man, when I list those 4 main events. That is a dire from both companies.
Yeah. If we're just going by main events, this is just like I'm just like, man, can we just skip to like 1998?
It's like, wow, you're not even trying with these main events. Well, I'll go ahead to 5 weeks. 5 weeks from now, no, 5 and 6 weeks. 5 weeks from now, it's Ric Flair versus Randy Savage, and then 6 weeks, it's Diesel and Bam Bam versus Sid and Tatanka. I mean, come on.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it's WWF.
Tatanka in the main event.
Yeah, it's the King of the Ring 95 main event. King of the Ring, yeah. It's rough. It's going to be a rough couple of weeks. But we'll be here to watch it. Guys, don't watch All In. Don't support Tony Khan. He doesn't deserve it. But support us. Subscribe to the podcast. Follow us on Instagram, Ray Goots. Follow Andrew Anderson Lee. And leave us a comment on YouTube. Let us know what you like, what you don't like. I mean, don't say, hey, do you watch different? No, we're watching this in order. So, I think sometimes people will tune out because they're like, oh, yeah, I know they're following the pay-per-view schedule, so I don't like 95, so I'll come back in 96. But I like doing it in order. I feel like we're going over the history of wrestling, I
would say this. If you're not interested in this 1994, 1995 years of pay-per-views, it's even more of a reason why you should listen because we're saving you the time of then you won't now you we're saving you the time of watching it. And now you 100% won't miss anything. Just listen to us and you'll know everything that happened.
Yeah, we covered an hour, but I like seeing these guys evolve. I like seeing like I like seeing like Earthquake be a really good worker and then become a shitty worker. It's fun to watch the evolution of all these guys.
I enjoy seeing the evolution of WCW. Really,
Yeah, WWF even
going
or
from
the de-evolution.
yeah, well, no, them going from like that still territorial like NWA where things are like just kind of it wasn't that good, and then
Yeah.
it's starting to get to the period where they starting to find their like, oh, this is what we are. This is our vibe. We got this great main event. We got this great mid card. We're finding our niche, and then now it's starting to like now they're getting this. You know what it reminds me of? TNA, because TNA did the same thing. There was a point where they were really good because they're like, we found our niche. This is what we are, right? And then they ruined it when like Hogan and all those fucking guys came in, and they totally ruined it. Took everyone's spots. Remember that?
Yeah.
What this is.
Well, listen, that's it for this week. We'll be back next week. More WCW talk, uncensored 95. It's the final ballad of Dustin Rhodes. Life's over. We'll see you then. We'll see you then. Uncensored 95. Thank you guys. We appreciate all you do. Andrew Lee.